Well, here we are at the 20th of April, and we're almost halfway through our dispatch season for mini plants. We've just about finished orders that we were due to send out last week. Always difficult when there's shortages. There's still a few orders to go out from earlier. There's some varieties are just not playing ball this season, as is always the case. You get weird situations like this down here. One of the varieties, believe it or not, the tray on the left-hand side was actually done a week later than the tray on the right. The right-hand tray was taken on the 22nd of March and is rooted and all ready to go. The tray on the left, the bigger, stronger plants, were actually taken on the 29th of March and are rooted and ready to go. You can see similar examples all the way down the bench. So this is Grenador Pastel, the green labels, which were for this week's batch of cuttings, batch of orders rather. They were taken on the 22nd of March. And the tray at the back there with the blue label, that's due to go out next week. And they were taken on the 29th of March. And here we have another example. This is Purple Duncan Edwards, a large semi-cactus. The orange label at the front there would have been taken first week of March. The yellow label would have been taken the second week of March. And then the green labels at the back there, those are all destined for one big order where they need about 70 of this for a display. They would be taken on the 22nd. So that gives you a bit of an idea as to how variable the Dahlias can be in the way that they root and the speed that they root. Certainly as you get through the season, the quality of the cutting material gets better, the light levels have improved, the natural temperatures improve, and you tend to get much quicker rooting on the plants as well. And what we started doing a few years ago was we started colour coding batches. So every order that comes in is allocated a week for delivery, depending on what customers have available, what facilities, whether it be a heated greenhouse, a cold greenhouse, a cold frame, whereabouts they are in the country. And we try to work the orders to fit the facilities, if you like. So we would try not to send an order to somebody in Scotland that said they only had a cold greenhouse. We wouldn't send them at the end of March, basically, as an example. So every batch is given a colour code, so we know what we're working in. The benches will be getting topped up quite regularly with each batch as it becomes rooted, and we'll be working through. And I say this week we're working on week 16 orders this week. So a lot of those to go out. I think there's about 500 orders scheduled to go out this week. We'll be doing our best to achieve it, but I have a funny feeling we'll struggle. And then as I swing around to the left here, these are the blue label batch. These are destined to go out week 17. This is only a quarter of the batch. There's still trays to come down from Ovington. The batch takes us around about four days to take, or takes Maxine about 4 days to take from the beginning to end. And there'll always be some shortages that she has each week that we're constantly playing catch up on. What we're looking for when we're picking order is basically trying to get as even a batch of plants as we possibly can from the plants that we have available. Even sized plants makes for easier packaging, and certainly you don't want to be mixing sizes in a particular variety. You don't want 3-inch plants and 6-inch plants going out on the same batch, so sometimes that's unavoidable between different varieties. We've had loads of positive comments on the way we pack them, so these is all ready to be boxed up tomorrow morning. wrapped in imitation greaseproof with a bit of moss. Hopefully all getting there on, what day is it today? Tuesday. Hopefully all getting there Thursday morning, ready for our customers to pot up into a 9cm pot, grow on frost free before the planting out time. Just to give you an idea of what we're working at, this is this week's orders. All labels all pre-printed. Just 1 or 2 trays. Some of these orders might be for just 2 or 3 plants, and some might be for quite a few more. That's quite a straightforward order in one way. There's a lot of labels, but they're in groups of 10 of a variety, which isn't too bad. But we'll have sometimes a similar bundle where it might be 50, 60 or 100 labels. Here's one. Yeah, that one there, they're all ones of each. So that's going to take an awful lot of getting up and an awful lot of packing. Don't ask me how many. There's about 70 single plants there. Don't think... Yeah, we'll see who picks that one up and enjoys doing that one tomorrow. Anyway, there's another general view of the greenhouse, what we're at. Chrysanths over at the far end. I get told off for not mentioning chrysanths enough, and I apologise for that. We have got some dahlias that were sort of like surplus to requirements for orders that were potting up for sales within the shop or to grow on for pot tubers. So these are all from the very early batches. You can see by the colour coded labels there that we've got. They're all sort of like from cuttings that were taken early March. But here's the chrysanth. So again, we're working through, just about coming to the end of dispatching chrysanth orders now. You know, so those were plants that were going out, orders from last week, which will pot up a few of those for our garden centre sales, and then this is the batch that we'll be working on for this week and next week for going out. Okay, and that's what they'll look like a couple of weeks after potting up. So we took about 300 or 400 plants down to a shop to sell at the weekend. So, you know, nice to see that they're going quite nicely. Okay, that's what... Nice to see it. A good even tray. That's Jimmy Tranter there. So those will be... Yeah, that's they'll be going out this week and next. These slightly smaller ones were top-up varieties where we didn't quite get the numbers we needed in the first batch, so they were taken a week later than the ones at the far end there. Anyway, I really need to go home because I just realised it's approaching 7 o'clock, I think, and haven't been here since 7 this morning, just about. I'm ready for some tea. So, yeah, happy growing, everybody. Happy growing.